Firm report has officially been completed and made public. There's a new update with Ledger that's causing massive concerns throughout the cryptocurrency world. And then Judge Torres has officially made a ruling on the Hinman emails. So make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out. Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started today is going to be Tuesday, May 16th. Getting started, we're going to go to my YouTube channel really quick. We did do the giveaway at 200 subscribers. So I did release that. We did pick two winners. The first winner was Spider Crypto, and the second winner was XYUTSUOI. I'm just going to show you guys verification per proof. For XYU, his was officially completed, so that's the transaction. I know it's not $10, but due to fees and stuff like that with buying and then trading the coins, I was in contact. He did send me his address. I'm not going to go through a bunch of details with you guys, but it did get sent. But with Spider Cryptos, he sent me his HBAR, but it showed that his was pending. I'm not going to show you guys his wallet address or anything, but his was pending. It did not go through. Again, I try to be transparent with you guys. So I did shoot him a couple of messages thanking him, but then for some reason the transaction got kicked back to me. So I'm trying to get ready to send it back to him. I just said, please send me a new address and I have no problem sending you the money. So I just wanted to make sure that he does get that. And again, I'm transparent with you guys. Now, I did tell you guys I was going to be doing another giveaway at 250 subscribers. We did hit that. I'm a little indifferent right now about how we did hit this. We went over 25 subscribers in 20 hours. Normally when I get subscribers, I get these bell notifications right here. And right here, there's like no new subscribers right here in the 2 days ago. And it's from one day. I got these three notifications right here, but I did not get any new subscriber notifications. So I found that kind of odd. So I'm going to contact YouTube. I'm going to figure out how to do that about, how I jumped from this many subscribers without getting any bell notifications. I do think that like a lot of bots entered into my channel and I don't want that. I want actual people who are actually interested in the cryptocurrency world getting this useful information and not just here to get these free giveaways and stuff like that. So I will be doing another giveaway again at 250 subscribers. I'm going to try to figure out if these are actually real individuals that joined. But so the giveaway will be coming here shortly. It's just a bigger giveaway and I actually want real individuals to win. Again, I don't want these bots to take over. So make sure you guys tune in and keep following my channel. I greatly appreciate you guys, and again, this is my way of giving back to you guys. Now, getting started, the total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $1,121,000,000,000. This is a 0.81% decrease on the day. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $26,865, Ethereum $1,807, and XRP is trading at 44.42 cents. Now, if we look at our Bitcoin chart, we did drop a little bit. We're at $27,000 to start the day. Currently, again, at 26.8. We did go up, back up, and then we started to hit this little decline right here. This is kind of normal. It's kind of been what's going on. But XRP had a nice gain today. Again, we talked about how there was a ruling on the Himan emails, and it was good for Ripple and the XRP token. But looking at the charts, we did reach a max price point of 45.95 cents. We've dropped a little bit again as everything does follow Bitcoin. So even though XRP did break through what was holding it back for just a second, it did reach some resistance. And again, with the Bitcoin price falling, all other cryptocurrencies are going to follow, even with good news. So it was just a nice little thing that shows that as new news comes out, and it's good news for Ripple in the case versus the SEC, that the token's price is going up. Getting into our crypto bubbles on the day, our biggest gainers and losers on the day. AXS is going to be our biggest gainer, up 17.4%. Mana is going to be up 9.9%. And Sand is going to be up 6.3%. It's nice to see again, though, that XRP was up 5%. It did reach a 8.3% increase on the day today, so that was good to see. Our biggest losers on the day, Hex, down 25.2%. I've been looking into Hex a little bit. Again, do your guys' own independent research. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be a nice price point to enter. This, for my opinion, looks like for me a nice price point to enter. I'm going to see if I'm going to actually, bite the bullet and actually do it. But this would just be one that I'm just taking a, a little bit of a gamble on because I don't know really much about the coin right now. Kava is going to be down 7.1% and Pepe is going to be down 7%. A lot of these meme coins are starting to drop down, especially because they had these massive gains. Getting started though, right here, Speaker McCarthy says we've got 16 more days to go. I don't think I'd spend 8 days out of the country, says Speaker McCarthy, on Biden's trip to the Indo-Pacific this week. So Biden's going to be meeting with several individuals, and in these meetings, he's going to be talking about what's good for the United States outside the country. We're going to see what happens and how this plays out. But right now, the U.S. is in a debt ceiling crisis. Right now, we're trying to figure out the debt limits. And to have President Biden leave, and again, he keeps on saying that he's not going to make any negotiations, no questions, and the debt limit should be raised without expectations of anything. In my opinion, that's completely ridiculous. And then now he's going away, and we're running on a crisis right now. A lot of individuals are worrying about their next paycheck if you're in a federally backed job. A lot of people who are on Medicare, Medicaid, stuff like that, and even Social Security, are those individuals going to get those benefits if we do go into a debt crisis where we default? In my opinion, this is going to be catastrophic for not just the cryptocurrency world, the stock market, and it's going to actually be super chaotic for the housing market. Only time's going to tell. We've never actually defaulted in US history, so only time's going to tell. I don't think that we will, but it's kind of annoying that we're playing, with fire right now. Right here, Mario comes out and says that the Durham report exposes Russia hoax against Trump. In a shocking revelation, the year long investigation led by special counsel John Durham has concluded that the FBI's comprehensive probe into the alleged connections between Donald Trump's campaign and Russia during the 2016 election was unjustified and lacked evidence. The report, consisting of over 300 pages, was released on Monday and highlights the utilization of raw, unanalyzed, and uncorroborated intelligence as the basis of the initiating the Crossfire Hurricane investigation against Trump and Russia. Remarkably, the FBI employed a different standard when assessing concerns regarding alleged election interference in Hillary Clinton's campaign. Despite strong criticisms for the agency's conduct, Durham did not recommend new charges or significant changes in handling politically charged investigators. The report also reveals a concerning predeposition among certain personnel to initiate an investigation into Trump. This revelation raises profound questions about the investigation's basis nature and the FBI's failure to uphold its mission of strictly adhering to the law. Do you agree with Durham's report's assertion that there was a clear political agenda against Trump? Now, we're seeing this again and again and again, these attacks on Trump with no real evidence that's coming out. And again, this probe lasted 3 years. And now, Trump, this really hurt his reputation during the new election for 2020 with Trump versus Biden. In my opinion, it did play a role in his loss for the presidency. But is this going to be, political attacks? And then basically, when you think you're going to lose an election, just have, one side of the aisle figure out and, kind of play house of cards essentially, and, tarnish somebody's name so that the public has a bad outlook on that individual and doesn't want them elected with no evidence. Obviously, Durham's report shows this. In my opinion, I do not agree with having no new charges against certain individuals. Think that this was a clear cut case of how the FBI mismanaged intelligence and basically had a political agenda against Trump and working with the DNC. But only time's going to tell if any more information comes out. And it was really hilarious to see CNN comes out and says special counsel John Durham finds that the FBI should not have launched an investigation into Donald Trump's campaign in Russia during the 2016 election. So this was really good to see. Finally, some people are starting to open up their eyes. Only time's going to tell, though, if this actually happens and they keep up with this, or if, when the 2024 election comes out, if they're going to, keep on playing sides. Right here, Watcher Guru News. U.S. government to crack down on crypto exchanges. We've already seen this with the SEC's power. We're going to see what happens with the federal government, though, if they're actually going to start cracking down and if they're going to change from the SEC to the CFTC for cryptocurrency and digital assets. Argentina Central Bank raises interest rates to 97%. This is ridiculous. If you want to borrow money, so if you want to borrow $100, you have to pay 97% interest month over month with that. That just blows my mind. So you're gonna pay $97 in interest every single month just to borrow $100. That's just unfound. Here in the United States, our interest rates are roughly about 6.5%, depending on where you're at and how well your credit score is and stuff like that will play a little bit of a more of a role if you can get a little bit higher, a little bit lower. But even then, that's really high. During 2019, 2020, interest rates were down to almost 2%. So only time's going to tell, though, the US if it's going to back off. There's speculation that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to stop raising interest rates now because they said that they've got a handle on inflation. SEC says crypto regulation clarity may take years and they're in no rush. Obviously, they're in no rush because they're coming up with no clear rules and regulations. They'll go in front of Congress and lie, and only time's going to tell if they're actually going to be forced to by the courts to come up with clear rules and regulations. But the SEC is going to probably continue their enforcement actions even though there's no clear rules or regulations. Chinese yen reaches record usage in global central bank swaps lines in quarter 1. Just shows how the US dollar keeps on losing its dominance. European Union passes law requiring identification for all crypto transactions. In my opinion, I completely disagree with this. Cryptocurrency is supposed to be a little bit more anonymous in this. You should have more free reign with your money and stuff like that. And if you have to use an identification that just shows that, central banks and other federal governments can basically freeze your accounts and all of your assets because your identification is tied to a wallet address. U.S. citizens' debt passes 17 trillion for the first time in history. Obviously, a bunch of people keep on borrowing money that they don't have. And obviously, those individuals, if you are buying a house, obviously you need to borrow money. Not everyone has $400,000 to $500,000 in their bank accounts to buy a house free and clear. But these unneeded spendings on buying a brand new car every time the new iPhone comes out or the new MacBooks, or you want that new dirt bike, stuff like that. Don't have these wasteful spendings right now. Venezuela to abandon the US dollar for economic transactions just shows again that these BRICS nations are getting these other countries in right now. Elon Musk says Twitter plans to create a more effective financial system than traditional banking. Are they going to use the XRP token or is he going to keep on pushing his Dogecoin? Only time's going to tell with this. This was really interesting, though. The NASDAQ is set to launch crypto custody service by end of June. And then John Deaton says, do you see what's happening now? Soon we may hear how the NASDAQ or the NYSE is launching a crypto liquidity hub or some sort. Now, is the SEC going to actually come after the NASDAQ for launching a cryptocurrency custody service? In my opinion, no, that they actually want these individuals to run cryptocurrency because it's not going to take away from their profits and their pocketbooks. Right here, though, we talked about Ledger. I would highly encourage you guys to visit Ledger's page. If you guys want to, just go into the comments. Again, everything's posted. But he talks about a little bit about the Ledger recovery. So essentially, if you guys have a Ledger, and it's one of the best cold storage wallets. A lot of people right now in cryptocurrency are disagreeing right now, but it was one of the top, if not still is the top. It might lose some of its momentum here in the near future, but this recovery upgrade essentially allows individuals to use their identification to basically get their seed phrase back without actually having those words. So depending on which hardware wallet you have, you can have anywhere from 10 to up to 40 different words. You have to put them in a certain order to have a recovery phrase to get your cryptocurrency. If you don't have these seed phrases memorized or you don't have it written down somewhere, if you lose your cold storage wallet, you're basically out of your money. So it's basically a way to keep your guys' money offline if you guys choose to. But with this recovery effort, as long as you have access to the internet, your face, and identification, you can basically get these cryptocurrencies back because your seed phrase is now attached to your identity. And they basically talk about how there's different shards, and these shards are sent to different companies. They don't tell you exactly how much or how many shards or how many companies that they're sent to. But when you put in your identification, all this information bounces from different locations and comes back to your new device. If you guys want to, there's an in-depth view. You can listen to this pre-recording and they talk about it right here. I'm not going to get into any more details on it. I'm still looking into a little bit more, but Vanessa Harris comes out and says, some of y'all have never done security thread modeling. Ledger implemented a capability to send your seed phrase off to the device, This increases the attack surface area. Your device is now less secure, regardless of whether or not you sign up for the recovery service. Again, because it is an opt-in service, you don't have to do it. But Vanessa points out that even though if you don't opt in, it still puts you at a disadvantage. This is really good news for HBAR. HBAR has just passed 9 billion transactions, 13 days, 1 billion transactions. So eventually, by the end of this month, we should see Hedera pass the 10 billion transaction mark. And this just shows how dominant Hedera's ecosystem is. Paul Grewal comes out and explains that the SEC actually responded to Coinbase position. So it says today, the SEC responded to Coinbase petition for a writ of mandamus, asking the court to require the SEC to respond just yes or no to whether it will undertake ruling for our industry. The SEC answer is a resounding maybe. Today, the filing may be the first when the SEC has formally explained in court its views on whether how the SEC should create rules in the crypto industry. The SEC told the court that rulemaking may take years and there is no rush. The SEC acknowledges that it will continue to use enforcement actions as a substitute for rulemaking for the foreseeable future. But not to worry, those enforcement actions may eventually inform not yet planned rulemaking. The SEC also said that the public statements by Chair Gensler are not formal guidance or policy statements from the SEC, and the public cannot rely on them as such, which kind of blows my mind. How can Gary Gensler make comments about cryptocurrencies as the chair of the SEC, but it doesn't consider it as the SEC's public opinion or the opinion of the SEC as a whole for regulation? Kind of blows my mind. But overall, the SEC responds reinforcing Coinbase's longstanding concern that that our industry does not have clarity on what the SEC may consider to be within or outside its jurisdiction at any time, and it is likely to continue changing its mind along the way. We look forward to the opportunity to reply formally next week, and as always, we continue to appreciate the court's careful consideration. And if you guys want to, again, everything's going to be in the comments. You guys can click this and read it. CoinDesk comes out and says that the SEC will soon bring enforcement action against Coinbase. And that's probably due to them having a petition. They probably didn't like that Coinbase put a petition against them to the courts. They responded, but they're probably going to respond the next time next week with its formal response and a more formal response, essentially, as well as an enforcement action against the SEC. James K. Filan releases breaking. Judge Torres denies the SEC's motion to seal the Himan documents. So there's a lot of speculation that this is going to show that the XRP token should not be considered a security because Hinman and a lot of SEC staffers were actually in meetings. They wrote a bunch of stuff down. It was part of the Ethereum free pass speech, and they talked about whether the XRP token, in a sense, was considered a security. And they had these little informal meetings, but a lot of people speculated that those informal meetings could still be considered somewhat of a rule or guidance measures. Um, and all these documents basically allowed Ethereum to get its free pass as well as Bitcoin. And then the SEC came out and tarnished XRP in the Ripple versus the SEC case. And it's been a little over 2.5 years. The SEC has been trying to hide these documents over and over again. Judge Torres actually asked for these documents, and so did NetBurn also several times, and actually ruled that the SEC had to give these documents. The SEC, even on rulings, when they were told that they had to hand over the documents, still delayed. They also petitioned against it even after they were told and mandated to. They asked the court to reconsider. And now that they're going to be made public, we're actually going to see in real time how corrupt the SEC actually is, in my opinion. Frederick Boley comes out and says that there's a very hot take. He says the SJ, which is summary judgment ruling, is obviously written, maybe completely finished, maybe some final touches left. Been saying any day now for a while, but it's really any day now. Also, nothing amazingly unexpected for this ruling except for the Hinman emails decision. Although this is good and bad news in my opinion, a complete Ripple win would have given Judge Torres an out to not order production. Same goes for the SEC. Doesn't automatically mean neither can win outright, but as I predicted, still think these are both low probabilities. Could compel the SEC to settle, yes, but I think the cat's out of the bag in these docs, and eventually some enforcement case would have been gotten them publicly disclosed. If not here in Ripple, but the tone of this ruling is pro Ripple, so let's hope that carries into the summary judgment ruling. And Jeremy Hogan comes out and says great minds thinking alike. And then, of course, there's us. In my opinion, I do agree for Judge Torres to come out finally with a ruling on the motion for sealing or the Himan documents and ruling against it. I do believe that she has a lot of this already written. And eventually, I think within the next couple of weeks, again, this is all speculation for me. Frederick Boley, Jeremy Hogan, and John Deaton, as well as many other individuals in the cryptocurrency world. I didn't talk, but Brad Garlinghouse talked to somebody in an interview, and he came out and said by the end of quarter 3, so in 2 to 6 months, he does see a ruling in the Ripple versus the SEC case. The last thing that we're going to show right here is Brad Garlinghouse responding to this and says another win for transparency. Unredacted Hinman emails to be publicly available soon. Stay tuned for the lawyers work through the mechanics to make this happen. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. Again, Spider Crypto, if you guys can please, message me back on Twitter. I'm going to figure out the 250 subscriber giveaway. Just need to figure out eventually, again, that they're not bots, because I do care about you guys and I want my actual loyal viewers to be those that get those actual giveaways. If you guys can invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.